Good day. Well, it's a beautiful day today. Sun is shining, 17 degrees centigrade up here. We're going to continue working on the boat, bring you up to date. As I said earlier on, I just made the first 3 pieces. What I did this morning, I off camera took my vacuum cleaner right there, a nice little portable one, and cleaned all this area out. Going to deal with the first 3 boards, putting them in. And if you remember, I said I cut them longer, the first 2, these 2 here, longer than I needed, because in case I didn't get that angle, this end correct. Okay, I also took my paint can and I coated all the inside of the back here towards the hull, give it a little more protection. Okay, so our first piece is right there. We're very, very close with our angle of attack, but we are a hair out. Yet that matches right on. Okay, I think I brought my square here. Let's just see what we have for the distance. Hold my square flush here. We have almost 2 inches. We have the exact same distance, so we need to get a little bit more of an angle on this end, and trying to figure out how we can achieve that. Come up with the answer. Okay. That's at the top edge here. We're only 1/4 of an inch. So only by 1/4 of an inch. Put 1/4 of an inch gap at this point to the, I'm forgetting the terms. I think it's called. Okay, so 1/4 inch puts it right there. We'll get our that's how close we were. Having to use body old boards I took out. So let's get this saw. I think I brought my saw. I did. here. Let's turn this around. This is the exact reason why I tried to do this in the shop, because I knew it would be awkward here. I'm going to get rid of this guide and lock it down because it's throwing it off with such a fine cut, creating a problem. We're going to cheat a little bit. Like I did look at the saw, why it's doing that lately. Come on. Ah! Frustrating. Okay, let's check that out. That's much better. Now we can get our length. So this first piece has got a countersink in here. So this is the length of this piece. The reason I go slow, you're dealing with two factors here. Number one, for trying to prevent a kickback, and number two is because the way I'm positioned. Now, it's a matter of getting it in here. That's what I brought the hammer for. This out of the way. Okay, there's our first piece in. Our first piece in. Now the second piece will overlap this, and we gotta measure that. We know the angle now. Over the other side. Get our second piece. First of all, we gotta shorten this so I can even attempt to get it in. Now, if you remember the piece I made in the shop, I couldn't find the third piece, and I was debating whether there was a third or not. But this is where this piece that I made in the shop goes, it will go right there. And I started hunting for the final piece, and that's why when I did this in the fall, left certain markings for height and everything else required, and saved what I could for template. And I see I've got to make a backing plate yet for here, which goes in here. As you can see, that tells me there was one more piece we got attached to this. And it only has partial corners here, which reminds me, I said I'd show you how I did them angles. Thought I was recording it when I was doing it. Went to take the footage off the camera and I discovered I didn't push the button hard enough to capture it. So my apologies to that, but this time we'll show you on them. When we get this board out, you can see that's what we need for the final piece. So this is our template because of the corners here for the hull. So we're just going to leave that sit there for right now. That way it won't get lost. We'll deal with this side here. First thing is we gotta cut a piece off so that we can get our proper measurement here, because this piece goes in here, and we want it longer to start with, so we can get the exact figure. So we'll cut it right there. I think the brushes are starting to go in my saw here. Okay, now we can deal with this side and check this angle out. That's why I don't cut it to length until you get this angle where it's needed. Oh, still too long. Darn. Oh, great. We'll take about another inch off. I'm not left-handed. Sometimes I wish the hell I was. saw that little kickback or not? There. Barely. This side's good on the angle, so now we can square it up. I'm gonna take a little of this foam out of here. Get to work in here properly. Where'd my tape measure go to? Right there. Okay, 33 3/4. 33 3/4. That's it. Thanks for moving on me. Right there. Yeah, it might work better. You would too. I think it's time for me to replace my saw. I have to take this apart, see why it's doing that. It's probably replacement time. Almost there, and then it's got to quit. Well, we're down to the last battery power, so that could be part of the reason. Come on, it's just not even an inch to go. Yeah, you would. Now, crying out loud, 3/4 of an inch to go. Yeah, that's enough. It's down a half a bar to get another battery. Put this one to cook. It's frustrating when you're that close and you run out of battery. Well, it took me a while trying to find my 6-hour battery. hunting all over for it. Forgot I had last used it on the weed whacker. Suck up some of that sawdust. Now we can get my exact length needed. I'll get it up a little bit. This end. Okay, that's piece number 2. Okay, I said I'd show you how this was done. Sorry about not showing it before. I thought the camera was low recording, and I went to get it and I was surprised there was no footage on it. So this is how we achieved it. Better. So my line is right there, and we got to taper this portion. So what we do is start with once I got a little taper started, then I'd switch direction. There's my top of the line, so that's our depth that we got to come in. Tighten this a little more. Again, I'm backwards. A little bit more. Piece, and we're there. Okay, now we'll flip this around. Actually, I'll just bring it down. That was awkward doing it that pattern. It would be okay if you're left-handed, but I had a little struggle there being right-handed. Well, now we can determine our length here. And I noticed when I was sampling it, I'm going to give it another 1/16 of an inch. 1/16 at each end would be 1/8 inch down. Okay, our line is to that line. Perfect. And now we can take this piece, trim that off. And we'll lay this down here because I see we have a different type of a pattern here in the corner. So first thing is to cut our little excess piece off. Here, I'm going to do this way, a little bit different to the way I've been doing it, but that'll be our cross line. Put a line here when you need to come to. Now we look at this corner here, and we got figure this portion out here. With this square of my dad's, it's so old you can't see the numbers on here very good anymore. So I'm going to get my other one. Bit of a struggle to get at it. Okay, so we're an inch and a half in. Inch and a half in. Where do I put my pencil now? Yeah, this sure happening a lot with me lately. I'll have something in my hand, put it down, turn my back, and it disappears. Well, here's another pencil right here. So what did I say that was? An inch and a half. That was an inch and a half in. Get an inch and a half marked here. This side has got to be different. You gotta figure this out. Let's take this out of the vise so I can see it better. Squeeze the two together here. Get some better lines here. Line is right there. That's how far in. We gotta come at this side. You can see that we got to put our line here. Now at this point, groove begins right there. Now we got to turn this around. This is our point right there. Now it's 1 inch there. So from there, come to that point to that point there for this side. Now we got that figured out. Turn this around. I gotta do it the other way, so I don't know if it'll show, but with this particular one, that's to our line. From this point, let's have a look at this old board. Let's look at our pattern here, and from that point to that point, I'm going to glue it that way. Okay, now we'll finalize it with the DA sander. Well, I better turn the air on. Whoop, this thing is still. Yeah, it is. I know you can't hear what I'm saying anyway. Well, it's a nuisance, that compressor, when it's so loud you can't hear yourself think, and you can't hear anything. Bye.